Welcome from the AX studio in Stuttgart, and I'm very happy to have Stefan and Alexandra here today and talk about how we can actually automate stuff, because we always do content automation, we create automated text, but that's just part of the story. There's always a need for automation and some automation pipelines to make the bigger thing going. We had the Zapier and UiPath meetup end of December with some possibilities to do that, to orchestrate processes and then put them together into a large chain. And today we have Datacater. We also see some a joint project that we did. I think Alexandra will represent that as well. But let's have Datacater on stage with how to automate things and look at it from a technical and data pipeline perspective. So Stefan, thank you. Thank you for coming, for being here today, and it's up to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us. Welcome also from my side. I'm Stefan, founder of Datacader, and to give you some context, what we do at Datacader before we start with the actual presentation is we build a data pipeline platform that allows users to connect the data systems efficiently and in real time. That means users can use Datacader to stream data from their data source systems, like database systems, to their data sinks, like the AX NLG cloud, and transform the data on the way in preparation for the downstream usage. But I think now I give the microphone to Alexandra. And we'll start our presentation.
Okay. Hello, also from my side, I'm Alex. I'm working as a customer success agent at AX Semantics, and today I want to present you with Stefan how you can easily get category description out of your product data. But first, let's talk about why category descriptions at all. Most of the time, we're focusing on product descriptions because that's the data the shops have in general. But that's not really smart, because it's really easy to get also category descriptions, and to these category descriptions contribute to more visibility and more traffic as your product description does. You can set relevant keywords in your category descriptions as well and create purchase incentives. And once the rule set has been created, you will automatically receive an updated text for every change in the product range. And these are the good news. You don't need more as you need for your product descriptions. That's enough with the help of Datacader. Okay, before we will switch to Stefan, I want to tell a little bit more about the use case we want to focus on today. So imagine that you have a comparison platform with a wide variety of shops and product categories. So that could be that you want to have tags for each shop product category pair. So that could be Otto couches, Otto armchairs, or Home 24 lights, and so on. And in this text, with the help of your product data, you can focus on which colors are available, which are very popular colors, which are more rare colors, which materials are available, leather, textile, wood, and so on. You can talk about new products in your product range, or in the product range of the shop. You can talk about the brands that are available, and that's also very relevant for your customers, how many products are discounted, and how many percentages you get there, what are the delivery and conditions, and so on. Yeah, that's what we'll talk about in the next minute. And now I will switch to Stefan, and he will show you a little more about how the process works in detail.
Sure. So before we head over to the actual implementation and see how everything works in action, we'd like to introduce you to the use case that we're about to show, set some context, and describe which data systems are involved and which techniques we use to also automate the production of content. So in this example, in this use case, we have product data sitting in a Google Cloud BigQuery data warehouse. And our goal is to use the software provided by AX Semantics, the NLG Cloud, to produce descriptions for product categories. I think you can move one slide further. Thanks.
Yes.
So what we actually need to do is we need to somehow start with pure product data, derive category data, and then use that category data as an input or data source in AX Semantics to produce the texts and descriptions for the categories. And on the top, you can see an exemplary product data set. So there are 3 different products in this example, featuring attributes such as the shop name, the category name, the brand of the product, information on delivery times, and also information on when the product has been updated the last time. That's the updated at field. And we use the attributes shop name and category name to aggregate the product data and build categories. So these 3 products shown in the upper table have been aggregated to build one category. And what we can do when aggregating the products is we can also determine aggregate values such as the number of products featured in that category, such as the last time information or products being featured in that category have been updated, or also aggregate values, as you can see for the delivery time, where we show which values are present in this category and how are they distributed. And what we come up with in the end is this nice and SEO optimized category description. And you may also note that the text holds information from the category data point. So for instance, in the first sentence, the category name is shown or mentioned, and the text also mentions how many products are featured in the category and so on. So from that, let's maybe have a brief look at the architecture of like how we set up the automation of generating these category descriptions. So on the left side, you can see BigQuery holding the product data. And on the right side, you can see the AX NLG Cloud used to produce these category descriptions. And Datacader acts like a glue between these 2 systems and automates the exchange of data between BigQuery and the AX NLG Cloud. And what we do is we employ a connector for extracting products from BigQuery using a query, or in our case, we use a view, and aggregate the products on the fly to build categories. These categories we stream in real time to AX NLG Cloud, and do also some data preparation on the way. And what we apply here is a technique called change data capture, which allows you to only process relevant data and make your like this process of exchanging the data much more efficient. So we don't have to recurrently transfer all data from BigQuery to AX Semantics, but only transfer the data that have actually changed, because we are able to detect which data change over time. And I think now would be a good time to maybe switch the screen sharing to my computer. And yes, perfect. And I will start with showing you how we set up a data pipeline in Datacader, and how we ingest data into the collection at the AX NLG Cloud. And then later on, Alexandra will show you how the raw category data is turned into valuable category descriptions. So I will share my screen, and what you now can see is the UI of Datacader. So what Datacader allows you to do is you can manage data source systems, data sync systems, and build pipelines connecting the data sources with the data sinks. And in our use case, BigQuery would be a data source, and the AX NLG Cloud would be a data sink. In preparation for this meetup, I already set up a connector for BigQuery, which extracts the product categories from BigQuery. But together with you, I would quickly set up a connector for the AX NLG Cloud. And to this end, we go to data sync sinks, create a new data sync, and what we need to provide here is a name for the sync, then select AX Semantics as the data sync type that we want to use. And then we only need to provide the API refresh token from our AX Semantics account, and the collection ID of the collection that we want to use for ingesting the data. And oops, I quickly copy my refresh token here. It's a good thing that it's hidden. And also copy the ID of the collection that we want to use as a destination. Then we create the data sync and can head over to building the pipeline connecting BigQuery and AX NLG Cloud. To save a few minutes of your time, I already set up a data pipeline partially. And with you together, we'll finish the data pipeline and establish the connection between BigQuery and AX Semantics. So let's head over to this pipeline. And what we're loading here is our pipeline designer, our interactive tool, which allows you to build streaming data pipelines connecting a data source, in this case, BigQuery, and a data sync like AX NLG Cloud. And on this overview page, you can see the basic structure of a pipeline in Datacader. So we have data source holding the raw data that we are consuming and extracting. We have pipeline filters, which we can use to select only a subset of the data source, which is quite handy in the case that we want to, for instance, filter out errors or malicious data. And then the main component of a pipeline in Datacader are the pipeline steps, which allow you to transform the data while streaming the data from the data source to the data sink. And what you can do here is you can build a sequence of multiple steps, which are executed in a sequential order. And in each step, you can apply one transformation to each attribute of the data. But to get started and also to get a feeling for like what the data looks like, let's maybe explore the data coming from the data source. And what we offer you here is a table holding a sample set that we extracted from the data source, in this case, the BigQuery system. And what you can do here is you can scroll over the different rows, in this case, different product categories, and also the different attributes like we have a UID for each product category. We have this updated at timestamp. We have information on how many products are featured in each category, information on category name, shop name, and these attributes are a bit more interesting. These are aggregate values, nested records coming from BigQuery. And when you extract data from BigQuery using their JDBC driver, it's a bit unfortunate that nested records or nested data structures are returned in this pretty unreadable format. That's why we need to transform and prepare the data before loading them into the AX collection. I will quickly show you how to apply a filter to the data. So we don't want to just read all data from BigQuery and pass all data to the AX NLG cloud, but filter out incomplete data that's not useful for producing category descriptions. And one example for that is that some categories don't have a category defined. And in this case, the category name equals unknown. And that's not pretty helpful for generating category descriptions. And that's why we will filter them out with a filter. And to apply filter to the data, we click on apply filter, then get to see a list of predefined filter functions that we can apply to the data. And what we want to do is we want to only select values which do not equal the string or the text value unknown. And to this end, we select the function require values that do not equal value, put in the value unknown. And I think that was a bit quick, but what happens here is we instantly remove these values from the table. And you can also see that using this filter, we drop around 7.8% of the data and ignore these data for further processing.
Stefan, there is one question in the chat. Maybe
yes,
we can put that in.
Sure.
Is it possible to set up a collection of JSONs as data source, or which format can be a data source? Also, a script which generates JSON, for example, or is it a setup possible for an automated process which runs the script and produce that data source?
Yes. So with regards to JSON, what we currently offer is you can either provide flat JSON files as a data source, or a REST endpoint that we can consume that provides JSON data. What's on our roadmap is also providing some webhook that you can use for sending data to us, but that's still a feature on our list and not available in the product today.
Christiane, does that answer your question? Can just write it in the chat. Yeah, okay, for the moment.
Perfect. I guess whenever you have questions regarding my part or Alexandra's part, please instantly ask them. We're happy to answer them. All right, so let's head back to the overview page. So what we did here is just add a pipeline filter that's used to filter out some data that we don't want to appear in the AX NLG Cloud collection. And I also prepared some transformations just to speed a few things up, but we may still have a look at them and also complete them. So let's go to the transformation part, to the pipeline steps. And what you can see here, I already defined a couple of steps. And the first step that's applied to the data builds a hash for the UIDs, which allows us to also deal with special characters and makes our life much easier. You may remember that the aggregate values were in these strange formats and pretty unusable in the way. And what we offer you is are like transformation functions to unwrap these values and turn them into more readable format. And I already prepared some attributes using these transformation functions. But one attribute, the brand of the products, is left. And together with you, I will apply a few transformations to turn these deeply nested and unreadable structures into something more handy. And in order to apply transformation to an attribute, we click on Apply Transformation. Then, pretty similar to the filter functions, we get a list of predefined transformation functions that we can apply to these data. And what we offer here for these BigQuery specific structures is a function to unwrap these nested records. And I click that transformation function. And the nice thing about our pipeline designer is while you apply the transformations, while you build your pipeline, you can instantly see the impact of the pipeline on the sample data. So we're still left with cryptic key names here for the different values, and I will quickly use transformation function to rename them to something more valuable. So I know that the key 0 actually holds the value or the brand of the product. And what we offer here is a function to rename keys in a JSON structure. And I will do the same for the two other keys being present here in the object. I see a question coming up. Maybe you can read it out.
Yes, there is another question from Christiane. Is it possible to mix up, map, and match data from 2 or more different data sources in Datacader?
Yes. So we allow you to join data sources. At the moment, it's possible to join 2 data sources at the same time. So that's often used to enhance a stream of data with another data source. So think of them like a foreign key join in like an SQL database system or like a lookup. Okay. Whenever there's a new question, please read it out because I can't see the chat at the moment when sharing the screen. So maybe something interesting also for you. So we offer around 40 predefined transformation functions, which are quite handy and automate lots of things. But when you deal with data, there are always special cases that are hard to cover with such a no-code functionality. And for these cases, we allow you to define your own user-defined functions provided as a Python function. And I will quickly show you a very minimal example before we get to transferring the data to the AX Energy Cloud. And what I do here is I first create a new attribute. And I will call this new attribute name, and it's of type string. And I will apply a function to this name to fill it in with information from other attributes. And what you can do here is you cannot only apply these predefined no-code transformations to your data, but you can also write user-defined transformation functions. And that's done in Python. And these pretty simple functions have access to the whole record or row. That means to all values from all attributes. And in this case, I will build the name attribute and combine information from the shop name attribute with information from the category name attribute. And also for these Python functions, Datacader provides preview functionality, which makes developing them very efficient. This should be it. I think I'm already consuming too much time showing you all the different features. The next step, I will just assign the AX sync that we set up and create a deployment for this pipeline. So this actually builds your pipeline and allows us to start its execution. And when we start the pipeline for the first time, we take a snapshot from the data source, in this case, the BigQuery source with the product data or product category data, and transform the data according to your pipeline definition, and then send the transform process data to the sink. And I will briefly have a look at the log of the pipeline. I think we already processed all data. And when I have a look here at the collection in AX Semantics, the data is arriving, just takes a few seconds for all texts being generated. And I think now's a good time to, for me, stopping my screen sharing, and for Alexandra showing you the AX side of the use case. So Alexandra, I will stop and mute myself.
Okay, sorry. So let's take a look now how the data comes to our tool now, to our Energy Cloud. We're looking here for some cabins for the office, and I'm here in the data sources, where in a collection the data is collected. And so let's take a look at the data. So it's provided in a JSON format. And we have, let's say, two different things here. We have strings as colors, and in a JSON list, every color is represented by another JSON object that gives me the information, the name of the color, so braun, grau, black, silver, and so on. And then I get the information how many products in this shop has the color brown or black, and so on. And by this, I can easily later in the tool calculate what's the most popular color and what's a more rare color. Let's also take a look at a numeric value. So for instance, for the so let's just say for the discount percentage, Stefan aggregated for us the lowest value that can be found in the product range and the highest value that can be found. And with this data, we're setting up our rule sets. So let's switch to the composer and to the write mode. So in the write mode, we have all the I collected all the information around this issue. So yeah, you see these are the themes I mentioned before. So we're talking about brands, about the newcomers, about color, material, and so on. So every information has its own, we call it statement, these little boxes. So let's focus again on our colors. If I expand this statement, so you can see Now, different formulations so that you that we can guarantee unique content, unique text. We have set up different formulation that says the same thing, but in a different way. So one formulation could be most of the products are available in color gray, but you can find also articles, products in color black or brown. And another formulation could be that's this one. Gray is the most popular color, but if you don't like that color, you can also get products in brown or black. The green underlined parts that you see here, grau, gray, and black, and a brown, and these are the parts that are directly connected with your data. So as I switch the test object here to another UID, so let's go to sideboards. Okay, no, that's not that interesting. It's gray too, but I think there was another. Sorry. Okay, maybe the other. Yeah. Okay. Now we have brown as the most popular color, and like this, we have set up all the other statements too. And I want to focus now on the statement newcomer, because that will be relevant in the next step. So this statement newcomer says something about, okay, it's worth your time to take a look at our shop this week because there are new products to take a look on. So we don't have any variable parts in the formulations, but we have to trigger the whole statement. And as you can see, as the red X represents, is that in this case, sorry, let's switch to our cabins. In this case, the statement is not output or is not activated. So maybe we should take a more detailed look at this trigger for this whole statement. So I'm copying the trigger, the variable here, and searching for it in the transform part. So I'm clicking newcomer trigger. That's the variable that is in use here. So that's what we're using, but let's go back to the source, which is a data field called created at. And this data field shows us the, let's say, oldest product in the shop and the youngest product. So this product, the youngest product in the shop, is from last year. And with the help of the mapping nodes, we calculate the difference of the youngest product, the date of the youngest product, and the date we have today. In days, so you can see we have a 92 days difference. And yeah, maybe that's not really a newcomer. So let's focus on this condition we have set up. In this condition, you can see that we have defined that a product is not allowed to be older than 7 days to be defined as a newcomer. And as a result of that, yes, the condition doesn't get true, and the red signal shows you that in the preview. So keep that in mind. It will be relevant later. Okay, when you have set up all your issues you want to focus on in your text, then we can go to the results now, and here you can see all the text. So let's focus on the cabins, the Aktenschränke. So this one, now you can see that's the result of the rule set we have set up in the composer. And every time I click generate content, you will get a new unique text because of this different formulation we have set up, and also because of the different orders of statements we have set up in the composer. Okay, now you know, so now you know how that works, and now we have text for all these categories here. Yeah, but Stefan will tell you a little bit more about how the text will be updated automatically. So we will switch to Stefan now.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, Alexandra. So I'm starting with this pretty similar screen. So we have this text for Aktenschränke. And as you can see at the moment, this category features, 16 products, for instance. But of course, the data in the source system doesn't stay the same all the time. And what we want to achieve is to fully automate the generation of such category descriptions. And for instance, whenever maybe a new product appears or is being inserted into the source system, of course, this also has an impact on the category that the product belongs to. And of course, also then impact on the category description. And what we simulate now is the insertion of a product into the data source. And I will switch over to Victory, and we prepared a small SQL statement which inserts one new product into this source for the category Aktenschränke. And I execute this insertion. And what we offer with Datacader is after processing this one snapshot in the beginning, we start monitoring the source system for changes. And whenever we detect a change in the source system, we only extract the change, only the relevant data, transform this change according to your pipeline, and then pass it on or publish it to the sink. And this doc already shows that this one category, Aktenschränke, has been updated. It's hard to read here. And the number of products have been increased to 16. But in order to show you the full impact, I will head over again to the AX application, to the Energy Cloud. And you can already see that the text has been updated. So more or less in real time after inserting the product into the source system. It's now mentioning that there are 17 products present in this category, and in German, also mentions that it's a very good idea to have a look at this shop, because there are new products available in the current week. So I think this more or less summarizes our use case and demonstrates the capabilities of automating your content production.
So thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Alexandra. Before we head to some sort of summary, we have a question here. Alex, from Hank, did you make this for each? Oh, now the chat fenster vanished here. Did you make that for each category for the most relevant attributes?
Okay, I try to answer that. So the database for all the categories is the same. So the information is the same. What can be seen as most relevant attributes is maybe, as we said, that the newcomer just comes if there's a new product in it, or we are just focusing on a delivery method if it's lesser than 1 week. So if we have a delivery time of let's say 2 months, then we wouldn't name that in the text, because that's not really an argument to buy there. So maybe that's can be seen as most relevant attributes. Sure, you could also make it a little bit more complex and say, okay, in which category do you want to have which attributes and so on. That's all is possible that can be interpreted out of your data.
Okay, let's hope that answers the question. So thanks you both for the extensive demo that shows the in real-time interaction between the customer system, actually the AX system, and Datacader in between. Thank you both for that. So from what I got from summarizing that, you basically take the product data, which is kind of scarce, because looking at the data, you only have like things, what was in the inventory, when did it happen, how many colors, not an extensive product information database. And then we summarize, or you summarize that with Datacader into blobs that actually cover the whole category. Mm-hmm. And then we're generating category content that is being pushed back to the original customer database immediately again. Is that a good summarization of what we've seen?
Absolutely, I think absolutely.
Okay, yeah. What's the current scale that you're running that at the funnel stage? How many products did we cover with that in total?
Products?
Yeah.
Okay, that's don't have it in mind, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But maybe Stefan.
So I also don't have the exact product number. I think it's in the low 7-digit region, and we have around 10 to 11,000 categories that we are synchronizing between BigQuery and AX Energy Cloud. Okay,
so the 500 something that was a small subset.
Yes.
Of the whole.
Just to speed things up and show a small example.
Okay. Yes, cool. Thank you. And why I have summarized that, some more questions from the audience. Any ideas that you always wanted to ask? Or some things that you always wanted to do with some data aggregation pipeline instead of doing that with the AX part directly? Okay, let's see. Okay. There's a question about translations. What about translations? I think, Alex, that's something for you, right?
Okay. Yes. So if you want to translate, for a moment, I will share my screen again. If you want to translate your project, the good news are that all the stuff we have done here, and I haven't shown it to you because it's more detailed thing. All these rules we have set up, as you have seen with the what's a newcomer, to calculate the most popular color and so on. All this stuff is done, and you don't have to do it again. So you're using this whole rule set and conditions and variables and so on. And the only thing you have to do is to be able to demonstrate that I have to create a new collection that will be empty for the moment.
I don't think we'll do that in detail.
Okay. Then you just have to translate the parts, the fixed parts here. So in this case, you define, so in your new language, you translate this part, and all the stuff around the containers has to be translated. Then there are also two options. If you have data in a specific language, then you don't have to translate it here because you have the data, but it's also no problem if you have your data only in the basis language. Therefore, we have, it's called lookup tables, and then you define the translation. So in this case, it would be grau, would be converted to gray, schwarz to black, and so on. So these defined values has to be translated, and then with not much effort. You have your training in the next language or in your next languages.
Yeah. So Hank, regarding your follow-up question, yeah, basically you copy it to another language or a regional variant, make the adjustment and use the lookup tables to translate data as well. I'm not sure how you could do it in Datacader, but you can also already do it in AX as well. So wherever you feel free, and then the system takes care of putting the grammar correctly together. Yeah. So basically, in terms of scaling, you would go from 11,000 category pages to 2 languages, 3 languages, up to the 110 that we do in total. Yeah, and then you just need to make sure that push it back to the original system at the right point with multiple generations done. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Otherwise, there will be a multi-language webinar coming up in a few weeks. I'll make sure to send it out as well to Christiane and Hank, because but on the other hand, I think that's it for today. Lisa, when is the next webinar meetup coming up? Do we already have one scheduled? I'm not sure about the timetable. You're mute.
There won't be a webinar in February, but maybe in March, but we will send emails and announce it to everyone. So
yeah, February is like over.
Yeah.
Sure.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. That's it then. Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the weekend. Thank you again, Stefan and Alexandra, for preparing the demo and doing the demo. And feel free to follow up with Lisa on the emails if you have any more questions. She will make connections to everyone if you want it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Have a nice day.